What's going on, y'all? It's Combo Breaker 99. I'm back with another quick post-fight discussion video from this past Saturday. Boxing match between Daniel Dubois versus Joyce. This was a fight I was looking forward to. I felt like this was a battle of the undefeateds where this fight was supposed to showcase something out of Daniel Dubois and Joyce. Now, I wasn't really high on Joyce. I felt like a lot of people were overrating him, which I still feel like there's a lot of things he needs to work on. And Daniel Dubois, I actually gave him a lot of credit going into this fight. Leading up to this fight, I felt like he was going to be, the favorite. And I felt like he had that power to eventually stop Joyce. I felt like he had that power and that skill to break down Joyce. But what I learned after this fight is that Daniel Dubois, I really realized that he can't handle a jab. He doesn't know how to get past the jab, and he doesn't have the basics on his own head movement to get out of the way of the jab or to counter a jab with his own jab. He was so busy trying to loop big shots in this fight and come around the sides of Joyce, where Joyce, he would just keep good range and he would just fire off a good stiff jab right down the pipe, and he would crack Daniel Dubois right in the eye. He was hitting him constantly on that left eye, just at the angle he was at. So after a constant beating, after 10 rounds from Joyce, just off a simple jab, Daniel Dubois, he actually had to take a knee and quit in this fight. I know a lot of people will say, oh, why'd he quit? He didn't have any heart. Well, he didn't have any basics. He didn't have any of the basics. He didn't have a plan B to get past the jab. That was the problem. He didn't have any of that, so he constantly got hit in the same place over and over and over until it did that type of damage where he had to say, I can't take anymore, and of course that's his own fault, but I'm just saying, like, when you constantly get hit in the same place over and over, which it was reported that he had a broken eye socket. After a broken eye socket, you're not going to want to continue, and I think that going back, like I said, with Daniel Dubois, he was just so used to going in there and fighting off of power, like a lot of power punchers can be. They're so used to just going in and ending fights quickly, that when it comes down to somebody just using one little basic thing, it can offset their rhythm, offset their timing, and just put them in a world of frustration. And Joyce, like I said, I'm not too high on him as like being one of the elite heavyweights yet. He's definitely not like a Luis Ortiz, is definitely not showing any of the tools, even like a young Anthony Joshua, but he did one basic thing, and I think the more and more he improves off of that, he'll still beat a lot of the B and C heavyweights, because he was consistent with it, and he stuck with what was working for him. I say in the first round, Joyce, he was getting off a very good jab right away, just stiff straight down the pipe, and it was knocking Daniel Dubois back. Second round, Dubois, he came back with some good power shots, had a good second round showing, lobbing those big shots. I said, okay, they're landing now, like the right hand was landing, but whenever Joyce finds his rhythm and finds his distance like he was doing, he had good, he found good range. He was extending that jab. He was able to double it up, and he couldn't miss. He could not miss because Daniel Dubois was not moving his head. And in the first half of the fight, I felt like Joyce, he was winning the fight off of the simple jab. But again, Joyce, he wasn't doing anything spectacular. He was just picking apart, a much bigger puncher that wasn't used to this. He wasn't used to this rhythm of fight. And I think after he ate, maybe I'd say like after the first 3 or 4 rounds, when he kept eating those jabs, the eye started swelling. That left eye really did start to swell, and I think that was what really started making Daniel Dubois uncomfortable. Like, in my opinion, like, I think if you ate that many jabs and your eye started to swell, you would start moving your head, or you would get it through your head, or your corner would start telling you, hey, you need to start moving your head. You look at your eye. If you do this one little simple thing, you won't get hit in the face with that jab all night. So I say, like, by the 6th round, that eye was swelling pretty bad, and Joyce, he was starting to slip a lot of the power shots from Daniel Dubois. He would tag him a few times here and there, but it wasn't enough because Joyce would just step back, and he would, kind of step back at an angle. And even though the upper body was stiff, he would still like slip a lot of the punches, and then come back and double up with his own jab. So like that second half of the fight, like I say, after round 6, from 7 through 9, there wasn't any moments where Daniel Dubois had this fight. He was just kind of plodding along. And he wasn't really investing in any body work, which, Joe Joyce had the body wide open because the way he keeps his like hands up, he's got that wide space in between where if Daniel Dubois had good timing and a good jab, he would have started shooting the jab, up to the chest and to the body, but no, like he would not take any chances with just straight shots. He wanted to go in there for the home run. So this is what Joe Joyce expected. So he says, okay, all I got to do is just fire a stiff jab straight up the middle, and actually, I don't even have to go to the body with it. I could just hit him right here in the eye because I already did damage here, So that was a good part on Joe Joyce is showing IQ, where he's seen his opponent not trying to block the eye anymore. So he said, I'm going to just keep hitting this eye all night for round 7, 8, and 9 to 10. When he cracked him with another good left jab to that eye, Daniel Dubois had to take a knee, and the referee just counted him out. Like, I thought he took the knee just to kind of recover, but he took the knee because he was done. And like I said, it was reported that Daniel Dubois, he suffered a broken eye socket. So, yeah, I understand why he would quit from that. But at the same time, it was on him because, he didn't make an adjustment. He didn't just start dipping that head out of the way. He just constantly got hit in the eye. Like, if he knew that eye was getting hit after maybe like 2 or 3 rounds, he said, oh, maybe I need to move my head. Or maybe his corner, like I said, should have said, I need to move my head. But, yeah, man, I just wanted to go back and talk about this fight because it's something a lot of, boxers need to be up on. This is something they need to be up on game. And I'm talking about up-and-coming fighters. So if you're an up-and-coming fighter who listens to this channel, definitely go back and look at this fight and see what Daniel Dubois was doing wrong, but at the same time, see what Joe Joyce was doing right. Like I said, Joe Joyce isn't the best fighter in the world, but you can see how he just stuck to the basics against a, hard power puncher, and how, he was able to capitalize off of it. So this is for MMA fighters, and this is for boxers. This is how basic a jab is, but at the same time, it can get you what you need in the long run. But yeah, with that said, Joe Joyce, he definitely earned a dominant win in this one, but I'm still not sure if he can handle any of the top heavyweights. I think he's 37. I'm not sure if he'll be able to handle guys at any point, like, even like I said, like a Luis Ortiz, or even a Dillian White. It'd be nice to see him in there with the winner of Povetkin White, their rematch. Like, I would like to see Joe Joyce in that type of fight next, or F.A. Ajagba. That would be nice. That would be a good fight. Because I feel like F.A. Ajagba, he has power, but he also has trouble closing the show against, boxers, guys with basic moves. So yeah, that's a fight I would like to see next for Joe Joyce. F.A. Ajagba, or if they feel like he's got the goods, the winner of Povetkin White, and that'll be his real test. But yeah, guys, that's all I got on this one. Like I always say, the jab is the key. Combo Breaker 99. I'm out. Subscribe. Peace.